Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Greg Tech New Horizons. This is Zypher, and today we are going to work on power generation and EBFs. Yes, power generation, I know. It never ends. If you play the pack, you already know. Well, I was going to show the field of heavy oil that I'm pumping. This is the bottom right chunk. However, it appears that for some reason it's disappeared. I really don't think it's pumped enough oil for it to take away the chunk, but I do have a fluid detector cover on the output hatch that is controlling turning this on and off as we need oil. That beautiful heavy oil is then being deposited into the super tank, and so on and so forth. I've explained this in a previous episode. So what we're really working on at the moment is getting all of those different fuels and this super tank of benzene inserted into a P2P channel to be attached to our ME network. Do have a few more P2P tunnels stashed away over here. All I should need to do is attach a P2P right here, disable this one. This is going to be an insert only for now on channel red. This then needs to be set to a fluid type P2P. Link it with our other P2P. And now if everything is correct, I should just need to connect these cables together. Now to test if I did this right, I should just be able to place this P2P right here, change it to fluid, change this to extract, red channel, filter naphtha, always active, and add a cable. Oh yes, and an important part, link. I don't think I'm linking these right. I might need to check this out. Okay, mystery has indeed been solved. Turns out you have to shift right click the input, which would be this P2P, and then just right click the memory card on your output P2Ps. This will be a process of learning applied energistics, but luckily that is up and running now. All we should need to do is come over here and install a P2P on our fuel source for our engines, which will also be changing this episode. With a little bit of fluid transport being established, I did go ahead and set up an oxygen collection system via IC2 crops, obviously using sugar beet, and then we're going to be using some spider eye, which will centrifuge down into methane, which is an electrolyzing into hydrogen. So I'm going to take these two outputs as well as a lubricant super tank and place that right here, and I'm going to take all of these, link them with some conduits, and feed this into our AE network as well. Okay, so I believe I have almost everything set up and ready to do a swap. So let's go ahead and tear this down. Alright, our little area is set up now. Let's go ahead and assemble the monsters. And last but not least, our two controllers. The structure is complete on both turbines. Alright, now comes the joy of configuring all of these conduits. I think on the inside we're going to have both oxygen and lubricant inserted. Let's go ahead and fix the maintenance issues. Running fine. And running fine. All that remains left to do is to extract on the red channel, which should, in theory, import everything we need into these engines. And we're not getting anything due to this device missing a channel. Let's see if we can figure out why it is missing a channel. Well, this was the source of one of our problems. I'm pretty sure you can't transmit channels from an energy acceptor. So let's go ahead and fix this. And there's 2 of 32 channels, one being this drawer, the other being the P2P for our combustion engines. And here's the location of our second screw up. I did eventually find that dense cable was not properly connected. So I connected it, obviously, as you saw, and none of the fluid would transport into the hatches still. So I came over here, which is where we have the oxygen, the hydrogen, and the lubricant setup. Now what I noticed is when I originally ran this line, I did connect it through to our fermented biomass hatch, and then ran it and connected it all the way underground to this conduit network right here. But what I failed to realize is this conduit network right here is simply controlling the distillation tower and depositing our byproducts from it. These 4 super tanks, as well as these 2 for acetic acid and ammonia. So the quick fix was to just mine this bottom block, add a conduit that connects the top level and the bottom level, and I did go ahead and change a lot of our channel networking or filtering to extract only on one channel and filter the fluids in here, thanks to Threefold's ingenious idea. Well, I started running into some slight issues with our fuel being pumped in. It does appear that the normal fluid conduits I have built have a max extraction of 200 liters a second, or 200 liters a tick. If I bump up the tier just 1 to 1,000 liters per tick, then I believe I'll be able to supply these cetane combustion generators better. For now, I have these tanks set up with pumps on them to get me through. But the thing that held me back was this crystalline alloy. At first glance, it looks relatively easy to craft up. These grains just come from pulverizing a pulsating crystal. However, what I failed to check was what our heat capacity was going to require. Therefore, I did go ahead and smelt up our tungsten steel and upgrade our coils. And I now have 2 crystalline alloy ready for crafting. Now I believe this is where our holdup is. Well, one of our choke points. Do not tell me they don't connect. I have to make these all the way to our P2P and all the way through here. Oh boy, this is going to be a lot worse than I anticipated. Yeah, this could be a little bit of a project, it appears. Alright, I think my solution is going to be to put that fancy conduit on the back side into a separate P2P that'll connect to our same network. So we'll shift right click to clear this, shift right click to set a frequency, patch up our hole, and we'll place our second P2P here. The first one I have a tier below. We'll go to the other side and look at that in just a moment. Load these settings, make sure it's a fluid, and for some reason it says unlinked. because for some reason when you set the addresses, they go back to ME. And it's definitely not the type that I wanted it to be. There we go. Successfully linked. Also, while I wait for all these crystalline alloy plates to finish bending, look at all this gold that I've finished processing. It's going to take our weenie little 159 stack to almost 1,000. But wait, there's more. Chemical bath with magnetite is definitely the way to go. There we go, that's looking a little bit more happy. Our plates are done, which means we can go ahead and craft. I did this last time too. This has to go in an EV assembler. Our ender fluid conduits, upgraded, are hooked up on both sides. And now I say we give it a true test. Look how fast it processes this wrought iron into steel. Just a little bit of time and we'll drain these batteries and we can see if it supplies our tanks with enough fuel. Vibrant alloy in 9 seconds. That's amazing. Oh, it looks like they're on. And I don't think we're being supplied enough fuel. Or, no, it definitely is. We're just not up at peak efficiency yet. Hopefully our battery buffer doesn't completely drain before it can kick into peak efficiency. We might, yep, we're watching it plateau right now. And we should see it start to climb any second. Still processing over here. Our charge is now starting to climb, even with it processing. This is good. Peak efficiency is coming. And we have a constant 16K of cetane boosted diesel being supplied. Our lubricant is good. Our oxygen is good. And our cetane on the other side. Looks like that upgrade did the trick. Alright, now that we've got our engines up and going, I kind of want to get some applied energistics automation started. It's not going to be anywhere near what I dream of it being, but I've enchanted some loot bags and let's see what we get from them. Useless. Useful. Dense cables. Crafting cards. 4K fluid storage. 1K storage cell. 4K storage cell, I'll take that one. 1K storage cell. There's an extra controller. Another controller. A 4K storage. A 1K storage. That was pretty good. Not going to complain, that is for sure. Free drives. It's always a good thing. And I'm not really too sure what these crafting cards or just cards in general do. I know Threefold was not very happy about getting them. So I'm just going to store them for now. And if we need them, we will utilize them. Alright, so I'm not even going to lie. I got a new monitor. And when I set it up, I forgot to plug the microphone back in. So I'm going to have to voice over this clip and maybe the next few ones. But regardless, what I've done is decided I'm going to need to upgrade our power a little bit. So I've went ahead and started the process for a benzene fabrication process, I guess you could say. But what I need to do is, first of all, unlock the quest in the GT++ quest tab. I need the industrial coke oven as the next part of our multi-block process, but that's gated by this alloy smelter. Obviously, you can see the prerequisite on that was the pure uranite ore, which is going to call for a trip to Phobos. And we have liftoff. Hopefully this is a quick trip. We're just in search of one little ore vein. For whatever it's worth, I just now realized that my microphone wasn't plugged in, but we do now have an EV circuit assembling machine pumping out some EV circuits, which will allow us to make IV tier a little bit easier. Well, with much easier HV, EV, and IV circuits out of the way, I'd like to break into this industrial coke oven as it's going to be used in part of the process to start making benzene. Now, upon checking the recipe, it appears we need tantalloy 61. And to make this alloy, we need to mix titanium, tantalloy 60, and yttrium. I did check this recipe, and it appears this is going to be the most pain in the arse thing to grab, so let's go ahead and figure that out. I think this impure rare earth 1 dust is going to be the easiest recipe to go with, even though it only gives us tiny piles. Now, in order to get impure rare earth, we need this crushed first. In order to get the crushed, it looks like we can run rare earth through a chemical bath with some sulfuric acid, and we get 3 different outputs each time. So let's go ahead and queue this up. Luckily, the next resource I was mass processing was bastonite, and it looks like its secondary yield is indeed rare earth, which is going to work out in our favor. And only a 7-second recipe. We'll have the process going, and hopefully we'll have enough yttrium in no time. Alright, I believe the time has finally come. There's the controller, along with an achievement. Ooh, pretty. Here's the structural casings. The heat-proof coke oven casings. The main quest. Input-output bus. Input-output hatch. The maintenance hatch and the HV energy hatch. And last but not least, the EV muffler. Well, it took me a little bit to get this organized, but I think I'm just about ready to finish building the distillation towers and to hook up all the wiring. Alright, this pretty little tower should handle all of the item transport. Now we just need to extract the nitrogen. Now we make it pretty. And we work on this side. Okay, 2 hours later, all I should have to do is flip this battery buffer and hopefully nothing explodes. And we might be able to watch everything come to life. Now, for a major step towards improving our power situation, is going to be an IV assembling machine. Here's a transformer that I hope I can place right here without any problems. This is stepping down, but we need to step up, so I'm going to shift right click. It is now Still a step down. Why isn't it changing? It's been so long since I used a transformer, I forgot I need to soft mallet it to change it. There's a step up. This is the output side, which means any of the following sides can be an input. So in theory, I should be able to attach that cable, throw our assembler down, load it with some tungsten steel, HSS-G, and Mica. Just need the right program, which appears to be a 3, and we'll have some HSS-G wire coil blocks in no time. Everything is in no time. Well, I've put these to the true test. Right now we have some energetic alloy smelting up in just about 5 and 10 seconds. Absolutely amazing. But the true test was this Harukan. We're going to take this Harukan and make some turbine blades out of it. Now, with some newly acquired turbine blades, we have one more little project for this episode. That's going to be this whole little line right here so we can get access to some IV batteries. Our first quest just wants us to get some glass fiber. This boron was the hardest part. You can get boron from electrolyzing some borax, and borax you get as a byproduct from different processing of rock salt or regular salt. At least for now, until we can get borax, but that's much later on, it appears. Tier 7. That is way later on. That's probably like 3 years from now. So I have some purified rock salt being ground down into borax at the moment. We almost have enough for a second recipe. But for now, I do have enough for one recipe. Oh, that's nice. That actually gave us 4 dust. The next step is just to mix this. No particular voltage tier required. We'll use EV, because why not? And finally, we just need the bars. Is this just an easy smelting recipe? Yes. Is there a way to make it double or any better? Always have to check. No, but we could have skipped the mixer step if it wasn't for the quest, but I can remember this for moving forward. For now, we'll just use our multi-smelter, which occasionally happens to have other goodies from random processing that I do. And there's step 1. Now I did have to click detect for this to trigger that I had these even though they were already in my inventory. And that's one thing that typically gets a lot of us in GregTech is these stupid quests not actually registering without you manually clicking them. And you just get so used to just going and submitting it. But anyways, we just need to make these fiber reinforced epoxy sheets now, which looks like there's actually multiple ways. We're going to do it the right way for the quest, but this is good to know that I could use raw carbon fiber as I'm absolutely swimming in carbon. But yeah, it looks like we'll chemical bathe these. Did the quest even say that? Oh, I should have read the quest. Alternatively, you can use raw carbon fiber, but we're making you do this because rewriting the quest would be annoying. You guys are annoying. I really need to make another one of these chemical baths so I don't have to constantly share liquids with it, but this'll do for now. There's the fiber reinforced, step 2. Next we just need some aluminum foil as well as some energetic alloy foil, and I'm assuming this is done in an EV chem reactor? Question mark? No, it could be LV, okay. But we're gonna need some sulfuric acid, I see. Funny the quest doesn't mention that. Luckily, one might say I have quite the collection. Check our efficiency, we're good. Now, in theory, I should just be able to insert these. And we'll start the process. Let's not auto output. Look at these beautiful boards. I like that color a lot. We'll pick up the rest of our batch. And now the final step with the same 2 liquids that we're always aware of. Cool, so with the last of this batch finishing up, we can go ahead and take these and complete the quest and move on to the next step. Engraved Lapotron chips. Luckily, I was one step ahead. This should be everything I need for 4 IV batteries. I think we'll try to run these in the IV assembling machine and keep an eye on our main buffer, just to make sure we don't run too low on power. Now, it does indeed drain this buffer quite quick. What I'm curious, although it's probably an obvious answer, is if this one gas turbine can keep up with it when it goes low, and I highly doubt that. But we'll see, it might not even drain it that much. It's just 14 Lapotron crystals being crafted, so. Well, our EV buffer did just fine processing all of these Lapotron crystals. I'm just waiting on the remainder of our engraved chips. But I suppose I could go ahead and start gathering the materials to finally assemble these Lapotronic energy orbs. Last but not least, the best part. And for added effect, we have them pop out at us when they complete. Thank you. And thank you very much. And while I'm in here, I might as well claim all these beautiful rewards. Always go for the loot bag, unless it's a rare scenario. Well, that's going to be all for today's episode. Thank you very much for watching. I know it's been a couple weeks. I'm afraid it's going to be very hard for me to get... Oh, hello there. You wanted to be part of the outro, I see. But yes, it's going to be hard for me to put out episodes any quicker, especially the more we progress into the pack, but we'll see what I can do. Thank you again for watching. You're getting a sneak peek right now about what's to come next episode, as well as the live stream we have coming up. Now before we go, let's exterminate. I don't know why you guys think you can be in my base, but that's not okay. And the other one doesn't want any smoke, I guess. Until next time, guys.